Hello everyone and welcome back to the Criterion Corner, and today I'm going to be reviewing the latest release from the Criterion collection. It is Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Is it worth your money? Should you pick it up? Let's get into it. Hello everyone, I'm the filmmaker and I love movies, and I'm glad you've decided to join me back at the Criterion Corner, as today I'm going to be reviewing the latest release, as I mentioned in the intro, from Criterion. It is the Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story. A Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Yes, it is of course a new spy number this time. Last week's episode we talked about an investigation of a citizen above suspicion, which wasn't a new spy number, it was just a new release for us in the UK. This is a fully new release from Criterion, and it is spy number 1062. Just before I get into is this documentary any good, and review the supplements and the essay and all stuff like that and the packaging, I just wanted to do a little side note and apologise for the lighting in last week's video, because it wasn't the standard I'd like to hold myself to, especially in that thumbnail. It is because my lighting kit wasn't with me when I did that video, unfortunately. So again, I just want to apologise for that, and I appreciate all the support and positive feedback I had from the first episode as I, pick up the new latest releases from Criterion and talk about them in depth. So thank you for that. So is this thing any good? Should you even watch this just for the documentary? Because this is a Netflix film. It's another Netflix release that has been added to the Criterion collection, and I must say it did catch me off guard here when it was announced that they were going to be doing this. I just didn't expect them to be releasing this. This is from 2019. I watched this when it first came out on Netflix, and that's right, Martin Scorsese directed this documentary. He's done many different musical documentaries in the past. And luckily this one isn't the runtime of some of his other ones. He did one on George Harrison, which was almost 4 hours long, and I watched it. This one's just 2 hours and about 22 minutes, so it's not too bad. Now, there's a lot to love in this documentary. I'm just going to put it down here, and I rewatched it last night just to see, because in my Letterboxd review, which I did when I first watched it in 2019, I did say I'm not going to watch it again, and here I am watching it again, because objectively this film is brilliant. What Scorsese is trying to say with the structure, with the archival footage, all that, and I'll get onto the supplements in a minute, that really enriches the experience. But for me personally, it's part documentary, part concert film, and part fever dream. The documentary pretty much chronicles Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder kind of tour he did in 1975 and early 1976. So Scorsese wasn't filming the archival footage back then. In fact, around that time he would have been making Taxi Driver, so all the footage we see from 1975 and 1976 is archival footage. We get interviews from Bob Dylan and other people, some of the filmmakers who actually shot that archival footage, and here it is used brilliantly. We get a fantastic sense of what it's like to be on the 1970s music scene. We get to see what it's like to be in America in that time, what was going on politically, and it's saying a lot about America. The film opens with people celebrating 200 years of America and all stuff like that. Scorsese has a few tricks up his sleeve, because it really does open with a clip from a George Méliès film where it's a magic trick, and so it's kind of trying to say this film is a bit of a magic trick here. And I was quite relaxed while watching this, even though it does drag. It isn't really my thing. I'm not a massive fan of Bob Dylan. If you are a Bob Dylan fan, you're gonna love this. You are gonna love this, because you get bits where he's doing his music, like I said, it is part concert film. You also get bits of archival footage where people are just talking, which is really interesting as well. Yeah, even if you're not the biggest Bob Dylan fan, I'm sure you're going to find something to love from this film. In fact, I have a really favourite song from this film, Hurricane. Really probably my only favourite Bob Dylan song ever, and I got this song from this documentary. It's really well performed. There's a really great story behind the song. Really good. The film's also dipping into stuff about art and things. There's a great quote from Bob Dylan. He says, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about making yourself, make stuff. And it really did resonate with me. So would I watch this film again? Very, very likely I would not. who knows, one day I might be making a documentary and I want to really watch a good documentary to help me with that. I'll watch this one because, like I said, objectively it's got everything there to be brilliant. But again, if you're not the biggest Bob Dylan fan, maybe not for you. If someone were to ask me what I'd give this out of 5, I'd be like 3.8, at the highest a 3.9, maybe even a 3.7. Now I'm just going to dedicate a bit of time to the packaging here. I didn't do this segment in our last episode just because, well, that was just your standard Criterion plastic case. This is actually one of their digibook packs. They do this for all the Netflix Criterion releases, and this one is outstanding. Just look here if the lighting doesn't get in the way. Look at that. Turn it around. We've got all the information on here. We take it out, put that down there, and we have some more bits on like that. Open it up. Take the essay out, which I'll get onto in a second, like I said, and then open it up here. Really fantastic. It's Rolling Thunder Revue, sold out. Here's the disc. Like I said, if you're a big Bob Dylan fan, you're gonna love this. And here is the booklet of essays, and it is stacked. And don't let this deceive you, because it did me. When I got this up, I thought, wow, this is a lot of reading material. I'm gonna be here quite a while reading it. But actually, there isn't much to read. So you've got like your standard stuff here, but a lot of this is poems and lyrics from the Rolling Thunder Revue, because there's a bit of poetry in this as well with this famous poet guy, I forgot his name. He's in it as well, which I didn't really read, but again, this is like a Bob Dylan's fan dream, and the actual essay itself is really good. It's really good at enriching the experience of the film, leading me on to the supplements, because I've got a few things to say about what you should watch and maybe what you shouldn't watch, depending on what kind of person you are. So we get 3 interviews, from one with Martin Scorsese, one with the editor of the film, and one with the writer. The one with Scorsese and the editor, I would highly recommend you watch. They are fantastic, because this film really doesn't... Scorsese's fingerprints, you can't really tell. It's like, Scorsese directed this, but it's great to actually see him talking about it, because I've never actually seen him talk about this film. So it's great to see him talk about it, talk about the process. Same with the editor. The writing one, the guy who wrote some stuff with Bob Dylan, yeah, if you are a Bob Dylan fan, watch it. Didn't really interest me that much. That one doesn't talk much about the documentary itself, it just talks more about Dylan and the music scene of the 1970s. You also get 3 additional performances from Bob Dylan, which I didn't bother watching because, like I said, I am not the biggest Bob Dylan fan. In fact, I only like one of his songs, but if you want to watch them, they're there for you, so enjoy. And the final bit of special features we get on this disc, there's not a whole lot, but there's enough for you to work your way through. There is like a little mini 2-minute video of Scorsese explaining the restoration process they went through of the archival footage. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'd recommend watching it. It's only 2 minutes, so why not? I enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting, because actually all the archival footage they used in the film, they had to restore it because it was a working print, so there was kind of hairs on it, people might have stepped on it. I mean, Scorsese, you know, he's very engaging to listen to when he's talking about stuff like this, so that is, though it's 2 minutes, I'd recommend it. So I think that just about does it for me talking about the Rolling Thunder Revue documentary that has just hit Criterion. Hopefully now you can decide if you want to buy it, if you want to leave it. If you're a Scorsese completist, probably go for it. It very much depends on what kind of person you are. And I'm curious to know what you guys think will be the next Netflix film to get a Criterion release, the next, you know, kind of really good kind of artistic Netflix film to get its Criterion release. Like I said, this one caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting this one to get a release, but it's a very welcome release from me. So there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, if you did decide to stick around, and as always, I will see you again in the next video.